Hi, I'm John from the YouTube channels Pro Craps and Casino Gaming TV. This year's Craps for the Cure is going to be held November 11th and 12th in Las Vegas at Casino Quest. The whole thing will be streamed live on the Casino Quest YouTube channel. This year, obviously, we're raising money for veterans moving forward, which helps to raise service animals for veterans with PTSD. It costs $50,000 to raise one dog. That's our goal this year. Let's put one dog into one veteran's house as a group. Join us again for 20 hours over 2 days of straight up craps play, talk, competitions, dice throwing, strategy breakdowns, dealing practice, you name it. If it's got to do with craps, we're doing it for 20 straight hours to raise money for our vets. Looking forward to seeing you out there live at Casino Quest or on their YouTube channel. Again, if you want to donate, there's plenty of chances to donate at crapsforthecure.com. We have auction items, raffle items, event ticketing while you're there, and of course, live donations and pledges taken during the broadcast. Can't wait to see you there. Can't wait to hook up one vet with a dog. Let's get this done, everybody. See you on Veterans Day weekend. In the meantime, God bless. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts with Old Johnny. Here we are on Casino Gaming TV. We're running Coffee and Crafts. We're going to start with our $1 Million Challenge. If you're following along here, it's been a couple weeks now we've been doing this. This is Buckeye Slim, 300 plus clubs idea of a side bet. Basically starting out with $300 and in 1 month's time, taking that $300 and making it look like $275. Now, you don't go to the casino, do that, and go home, right? He's saying, as a side bet, take all the time you need to get that to happen, right? Once you get it, in your next month, take $500, which is what you would have won plus 75, and win $600 with it. And take 4 sessions to over 4 sessions, win $150, get out, right? So it's get in and get out. Month 3, which is what I'm in right now, now you would have won $1,000. Take the $1,000, buy in with it at least 6 times, or maximum of 6 times, and try and win a couple $100 each time. So you're kind of having this like 20%-ish win goal every time you show up with the same bankroll. And let's see if we can't get 6 wins and $1,200. So far, we have done it, I think, 3 times, right? I've got $600 over here, I think. We've won 1, 2. Yeah, we've done it 3 times. I actually didn't keep track. I'll put the Lammers back over there. We did it 3 times so far. Here's our $1,000. There's our little marker thing so we know where we are. This is our locked up profit. That's our 401g account from the first 2 months. Here we go. I'm going to run the Jacob from Wage Me This across strategy. This is the, so there's $800 and here's 204. So I'm actually in for 1,004. So don't sue me. But here we go. It's going to be a 204 across. What that means is 35 on the 5 and 9, 42 on the 6 and 8, and 25 on the 4 and 10. Everything here pays 50 for 1. I got a couple of white chips sitting over here that I can use to make those exchanges pretty easily. And that's basically it. We're going to go 50 for 1 a few times. If we get our paycheck, fantastic. We're out of here, right? If we don't, we're going to go back out with whatever we pulled off the table. So that's going to be this front part of the rack. You'll see how this works in a minute. Starting bankroll, 401g account, just there for visibility. This is our profit for this month so far. Here we go. Coming out, puck is off, and we have a 9. So we're on the 9. Now just roll a bunch of box numbers and get out of here, right? We can get lucky. We can be good. If we hit big red right away, we're going to be in trouble. There's a 437. So PSO. The PSO is the big time kryptonite, right? It is what it is. Here we go. There's 200. I'll take 5 out of my profit side and put a buck back in the rack. Just again, I'm trying to keep it even as even can be over here. Technically speaking, I owe this stack now $6. 1 or $4. I owe it $9. $5 plus the 4 from the last time. I'll pay myself back from profit if I get them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, man, we're fighting from behind. I don't like fighting from behind, guys. I hate to work hard. I hate working hard. I'd rather just be easy. There's a 4. And there's an 8. Sweet. 6, 2, 8 pays. 42 pays 50 for 1. We're going to same bet it. This is just same old bet. Here we go. We got to earn back, by the way, 204 and earn 204. So now we're in a spot where we have to win $400 to get out of the day. 325, 50 for 1. 35 pays 50 for 1. There's 100. We're getting there. There's a 10, 6, 4, 10. Guess what that pays? Anybody? Anybody? 50 for 1. 204 across is kind of a magical little bet right here. There's 100.5. Okay. Come on, stay hot. There's a 9, 6, 3, 9, Nina 9. Also pays, you got it, 50 for 1. Now what I'm gonna do here is take this $50. I'll take that 25. I'm gonna get 15. Actually, I'll take 15 and 10. So I wanna do the right thing here. I wanna make sure that we're being proper. 25 for 25, okay? I'm gonna put back the $9 that I borrowed from myself, from that profit stack, to make sure that we're right, okay? I'm gonna take these greens, make them look like a black chip, okay? Because I wanna put my rack back as close as I can, as fast as I can. Here is about 18 bucks. So right here, there is 275 bucks. We're 1/4 away from having our rack back where we started the session with and being even. I wanna make sure that we're kind of keeping the rack straight here. As long as I avoid big red for a minute, we're gonna be okay. There's a 6, 2, 8. Hey, guess what? 50 for 1. We're gonna same bet that son of a gun. I'm gonna take the greens out of my rack, make that a black chip. Now my rack is where I started. This is the 800 that I started with. 204 is out there, which means I've got this is profit right now, okay? Now, once you worked it up to profit, which again, not much profit here, you can start playing more aggressively, okay? We can press a little bit in here. We can keep same betting. We can do a regression. We have lots of options now that we're playing from ahead. For now, I'm just gonna keep it on, 50 for 1, until I get something either meaningful or until we get ourselves home, right? Let's get ourselves home if we can. There's a 9, 6, 3, 9. Again, 50 for 1. And note too that it's the minute I get 200 bucks on the right side here, I'm done. My goal today is 200. I have 200 here. If I get 200 here, that means that we're out, right? What I've got over there is 160, 135 bucks over there. So we're not home yet, but we're rocking it, okay? At any point in time, I can pull this back and come back up or something smaller. We're gonna stay where we are. I feel pretty good about where we are. Where's the 7? Well, I felt good until I threw a freaking 7. But we did okay. We earned our loss back. We're back out here again at 204. So what I'm gonna do is take 100, 200, and 5 out of my rack with a penny change, reset my bets, and I'm right where I started. I'm actually where I started on the first shooter, exactly where I was, with a little bit of luck. So we're okay. We're okay for now. 213. That first PSO sucked, man. We would have been at profit without that first PSO, darn it. All right, there's our 10. Let's go. 50 for 1 a few times. Let's get the hell out of here, huh? 5 for 1. Same betting. 4, 1, 5. You can also do this, by the way, if you felt like it, at regression, right? I can take this down to 10 bucks, right? And lock that 200 bucks a little quicker. Oh shit, another 7. We might never get to talk today. We might never get our show on. That's a 7 out. 204 goes down. 205 goes out. Oh shit. We're gonna be, by the way, maybe running into one of the rules of the game, which is you can never have less than 50% in your rack. So we're in trouble. There's a yo coming out. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. Yo, a 3. So we had a 7, a yo, and a 3 back to back to back. Horn, number, and ugliness haven. There's a 5. Let's go. Let's go, shooter. Earn back your money. 4 hard. All right. 50 for 1. There's 100 in greens. I'm going to make my rack. I'm going to build that rack back up quick as you'd like. 10. That's also 50 for 1. Here's 75 in the rack. There's a 9, which pays, you got it, 50 for 1. That's 3 in a row. Those 2 plus those 2 is a black. Check change. Rack has 700, 800, 900, and 25. So we're not even, but we're sniffing it. We're sniffing like we're even. 6-5 yo. 314. I love it. That's 50 again. 50 more for $1. Almost earned our loss back. Come on, stay hot. 1, 2, 3. Almost earned back. We may do a little regression after this because I'm getting a little bit spooked. 314. Okay, 50. That's actually $49. We don't have any ones left. 45. There's $49. I'm going to take my 3 greens and make that look like a black chip. There's 800 in the rack. There's 200 out here and $24 in profit. So we're up 24 bucks. We earned our loss back. Now I'm going to do a little bit of regression. I'm going to play it safe. Get the hell out of here. $75. Or I'm sorry, it pays 50 for 1. I'm going to pull this back to 15 bucks and bring back 75. And then I'll do a little half press as we go on the ones that I have regressed down. 6. Also, we'll take 50 for 1. Bring it back down to $18. So bring back 75 again. If I take those greens, make her a black for 50 bucks. 10 hard. That's, man, I couldn't be any perfect, right? 50 for 1. Take it down, make it look like 15 bucks. That right there is 100. Now my rack has 1,000 bucks back in it, plus 25. So if you take my rack plus what's out here, there's $25, 50, 75, 100, plus a bunch of reds. So about 150 bucks in profit out here. There's a 6. All right. That pays 21. I'm just going to give it $6. We'll make it look at 24. Keep the bets even there if we can. And there's my 7. Okay. That's a huge bummer. We didn't get I wanted to get like the 8 or something to hit for us. Where are we here? Take all this crap down. We're going to miss out on all the great ideas I wanted to talk about today because this is taking too long. It's a bummer. Here we go. 204 again. We have 205 for $1. Just can't seem to get the longevity we need here. So let's go. 35, 35. All right. Coming out one more time. Come out 7. 5. Let's do it. Oh my God, a freaking PSO. Jeez. 205 bucks. Damn it, John. This is perfect. We're talking about the elephant graveyard today, right? This is the whole point of today's show is the elephant graveyard. And it is rearing its ugly head, right? The grave digger going across. I don't have enough money here to even do the bet that I want to do after this. So, all right, there is a 50 for 1 win. 50 for 1. Crapola, man. $9. Let's do it. 50 for 1. There's a black chip in there somewhere. We'll color them up in a minute. 4. Okay, I'll do 50 for 1. I'm going to take this nickel and make it look like 5 whites. Pay the $1. That's my vig. Another 4. That's awesome. 50 for 1 again. All right, do we have our 200 bucks back? I think we do. 225. So we have our money back that we lost. Right, there's the 800. Okay, we have 200 out here. That's 1,000 plus $28 in profit. I'll do the regression thing again here. Now that we're even, and hopefully get ourselves somewhere good. All right, 50 for 1 for that 6. Let's just make it a quarter. I'll just go down to $25 levels here. Make it easy on ourselves. On the 6 and 8, we'll do 15 on everything else. 9. 50 for 1. Make it look like 15 bucks. Bring back 75. Now, there is 150 in profit in the rack. So we're not quite home. Not quite home yet, but we're getting there. That's the dollar. Come on, dude. Stupid aces. Okay. Give me a 6 or a 4 or something fun. Give me something fun. There's a 6. Sweet. That pays $29. Okay. Let's just make that look like 36. 36. We'll take all this back. Take it all back. There's a 10. Sweet. 50 for 1 on that 10. I love it. And we'll take that 10 and I'll make it look like 15 bucks. We'll bring back some more money. Those greens, by the way, make a black. My rack is back to 1,000 bucks on the good side. 35 in profit. Not quite enough to get out of here. But we're getting, oh my God, every time we get that close, it's a freaking 7. It just wants to hurt you, this game. This game just wants to hurt you. Let's go this. I'm going to reset the bets one last time because we're going to be out of here in time. And I want to make sure we have a chance to talk about other things besides just this. $42. Last run, and we'll call it wherever it is. $204 going out. Puck is off. Damn it. 9. Just can't get the extra 1, right? It's a bitch when you need 8 hits to win, right? There's a 6. Here we go. Rebuild the rack. Let's rebuild it. 50 for 1. Come on. 7 out. Okay, I'm going to call it here because I want to get to the mic and talk. Where are we today? We lost a little bit. We're going to have to, I can't spend the whole show doing this, otherwise you're going to miss out on what I need to say. So we are down a little bit today. We lost a little bit. Tomorrow I got to come back. And again, I don't get only 6 sessions. I have to do this. I got to win 6 times. So we're going to call today a loss of like $100. I got to come out of tomorrow with a little bit underfunded to go after it. So not a great rolling session this morning. Hopefully tomorrow goes better, but let's get to the screens here and chat, because that right there is a good entree into what I want to talk about today. Let's come here to me. Hey, oh, I see Toro's here. Good morning, Toro. How you doing, man? Hope your trip's going well. Enjoying the sun. We're freezing our asses off up here, I can tell you that. All right, so let's move ahead and jump into the stuff. I only got about 20 minutes here, but really quick, are we at $1 million yet? No. Failure today, but we'll get there. I could have logged, as Buckeye says, any winning session I could have logged. I could have stopped whenever I wanted to with $28 if I wanted. It's fine. Took a tiny hit. We'll get it back tomorrow. I'm not that concerned about it. Let me recap the red cross and craps for the cure before I get into advantage play. I think I'm glad Toro's here because this is going to be an interesting topic that I think it'll span belief systems for sure. So craps for the cure, as you know, next weekend. Oh my God, it's next weekend. We're ready to go. I think we have. I talked to Michael Feldman yesterday. We may get. We're trying hard to get a rep from one of the casinos to come with us out there and be part of it and kind of be with us some of or a lot of the time if I can, for sure, for an interview. So hopefully we get somebody from a casino there. I want to really talk to them about how they track your play. How do they actually track it? Like what does the computer system look like? what are they tracking and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be kind of cool if we can pull. So cross your fingers, we can pull that off. Also, crapsforthecure.com. I know that the raffle items are working. I can see that we've got about $1,000 or so in people buying raffle tickets. So get your raffle tickets in. I'll do a quick tour with you because I want you to see the things that are there. We got to start highlighting this stuff and get yourselves in. So crapsforthecure.com. If I go to the raffle, look at some of the stuff that we got here, guys. I mean, honestly, you get to play and film with Hawaii Crap Shooters. That's one of the items, right? You get to play and film at a table with Brian and be on the YouTube channel. That's amazing. $100 for those raffle items. A free cruise. $100 raffle item for a free cruise with Brian from Holy Roller. Heavy is auctioning off or raffling off a full seminar with him. A full seminar. Not just one day, the full thing. Playing with Heavy and the whole crew, the whole deal. $100 for a raffle ticket there, guys. The hard hat that's been all around the country. These are $25 tickets for the hard hat, signed by everybody, signed by even Chiro's wife, Crystal. You've got my bobblehead, my Funko Pop, a lifetime Crapsy membership, my old felt. Jacob from Wage Me, this is old felt. Dice Dr. Dan's got a bunch of really cool collectible things. There's a Casino Collector's starter kit. There is Mrs. Midmo Yo. Crystal hand-painted some dice on wood. I've got those. We've got Stratosphere unopened cards. I showed you yesterday the Yeti mugs that were customized with our logo. Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Crafts has got dice out there. Kev the Carpenter made custom decks of cards that have our logo on them. So there's more coming. Casino CEG is doing a full dealer training online scholarship. And I've got books coming and other things too. So get yourselves there. Get yourselves in that auction. There's so many good things that people have put up, and it's just great. So get there. The auction's open now. Buy your raffle tickets ahead of the event. So if you want to do a straight donation, of course, that's fine as well. All right, next, I want to talk about quickly the Daily Paycheck Red Cross. We won again today. 7 rolls, in and out, baby. Right? Is my throw getting better? Do I have an advantage of throwing? I don't know if I'm an advantage thrower yet. But I'll tell you what, we've won 12 times, and all but one of the 12 times we did it in the first shooter. I think one time, or no, twice. Twice we went down early and fought back with 20 rollers. Almost every other time I walked out there and just ripped off 7 in a row and got out, right? So far, I feel like it's been a great strategy. Knock on wood, we've been lucky with it. So the Red Cross, as much as I don't like pure iron crosses, this one has got some weight to it, and I'm enjoying playing it. So we're about a little better than halfway there with it. So let's hope we can finish this thing off. Let's hope it finishes off itself strong. I'll probably play over the weekend because next week I'm not going to play Thursday and Friday while I'm out of town. So, all right, let's get into this. Now, today's show was going to be about something else, and I decided to change the whole topic today and talk about the graveyard. The elephant graveyard, which Greg from 555 Craps calls it. I think my friend Cashier's Cage, calls it the grave digger, which is betting across, okay? So however you want to term that, right? People say looking at right side play, the graveyard is where all good bets go to die, okay? You cover all the numbers, you 7 out like you saw today, right? 7 out, 204 goes away, right? Happened to me twice, PSO'd twice, like lost $400. It's too much money, right? Can you cost too much to cover them all? Too much at risk for the 7, okay? But I have this sort of love-hate relationship with the word advantage play. And I've heard a lot of people throw it around. In other games, you can actually have an advantage, right? If you're a card counter, you can count the cards and with proper deck penetration and thickness, you can get an quote-unquote advantage on the game. It's possible to have an advantage in card counting. Is there an advantage in craps anywhere on the table? And House Edge would tell you no, but really I want to talk about this. And here's the argument against the graveyard, okay? Let's just say you're going to go I'll do a simple example. You're going to go 110 inside. And I can show this to you with chips, and I will in a second. 110 inside. 18 ways to win, 6 ways to lose. This is like, again, what they would call the elephant graveyard. All good bets go to die up here. $110 at risk. But with 18 ways to win and 6 ways to lose, it's a 3-to-1 advantage for you from a combination standpoint, okay? At the 75% win probability is what that looks like. 75% you should win versus just betting the 9. Let's just pick a number at random, the 9, right? I think I can throw 9s. The 9 has 4 ways to win and 6 ways to lose. You're a 2 to 3 dog in this case. That rolls out, by the way, to a 40% win probability, okay? But it's only $25 at risk. So you have 110 at risk for a 75% chance to win versus only 25 at risk, but a 40% chance to win. What is the expected value here, guys? Do your math. Put it in chat. I'll give you a second. Put it in chat what you think. What is the expected win or loss rate for these two players? One guy betting 110 inside, one guy betting on just the 9, picking one number. Or you can just do 6 and 8, right? Whatever. What's the expected loss for both players? I'll give you a hint. It's $5. It's the same for both players. It doesn't matter. This is one of those things where your mind gets blown when you see the actual numbers, right? Yeah, 110 is a lot of money at risk, but if everything falls the way it should and you win 75% of the throws up there and you 7 out the other percent of the throws, you're going to lose $5. I'll show you how this works in just a second. The same thing with the 9, right? You will lose expected $5. Let me actually show it to you. I think it's interesting to show you why that's the case, right? Let's put it up here. Let's do inside first. The inside bets first, you've got this, you're at 18 ways to win, 6 ways to lose, right? So if you reduce that fraction, right, it's 3 ways to win, 1 way to lose, right? If you go 18 to 6, it's just like going 3 to 1, okay? That means out of 4 outcomes, you're going to win 3 and lose 1. That's your 75% win rate. What does that look like in money, right? If you put 110 inside and you win, you're expected 3 times. You're going to win $35 once, twice, 3 times. How much does that equal? That's $105. You're going to lose 1 time for 110. Guess what? You're negative $5. That's your expected loss is $5. You lose 110, you win 105. That's the inside play. And you're like, oh God, you got 110. All right. Now, sure, you can lose that many times in a row, right? And feel like you're underwater. But over the course of time, it worked itself out. Let's do the 9. On the 9, you have a 3 to 2 disadvantage. You're going to win it twice. You're going to lose it 3 times, right? 4 ways to win, 6 ways to lose, 3 to 2, okay? If that happens, you're going to, with a $25 bet on the 9, you're going to win $35 twice. $25, $35 twice. You're going to lose $25 3 times. You're going to lose it once, twice, 3 times. You're upside down $5. It's the same. So somebody telling you that betting inside is ludicrous because it's too much at risk, it's the same risk. There's no difference in the risk of 110 inside or 160 across versus just betting one number. I can do it with the 5 and the 9 versus the inside bet. I can do it with the cross versus the inside bet. It's all the same. Probabilities work the same. If you win more often but lose bigger, it's the same as winning less often but losing less. Over time, there is 0 difference between those 2 bets. So the graveyard argument to me doesn't hold a lot of water, okay? Now, if you throw a bunch of 7s quickly and you don't get your 75% win rate, which can happen, right? You can be in a negative downturn, a bad variant, and you could win 40% of the time with a 75% advantage. Then you're going to be upside down. But honest to God, over time, they're the same. There's no difference between one bet or many bets, okay? What is an advantage? I've heard this term thrown around before. And Mr. Dictionary, right, we looked it up, right? Advantage has these 2 definitions, which I think are very poignant. 1, a condition giving a greater chance of success. The second definition, which I like even better, which is to use good things in a situation, okay? That would be the thing that a trend better would say. the situation's beneficial to me, the variant is going my way, use that in a way, use that to my advantage. I say this all the time, bet into the variant, that's your advantage. Your advantage is to bet heavier when it's going better, right? And an advantage is also to bet less when it's not going better, right? That's the way you can do that. But a condition giving a great chance of success, to me, speaks to the dice controllers, the dice influence crowd. They're trying to create a condition that gives them a better chance of success. And I think that's when they say advantage play, or I have an advantage, that's what they're going for. The players who play more trend styles don't really believe so much in dice control. They're looking at just pure trends, patterns, whatever in the dice, trying to take a good situation and make the best of it. But really, what does it all mean? Okay. The probability awareness, this is the graveyard or the grave digger, right? And I'll give you the same numbers I just gave you. When you're inside betting, you have an 18-6 advantage. 18 ways to win, 6 ways to lose, 75% win probability. If you're betting across, your advantage is 24-6. You have an 80% advantage over the dice to win on a given roll. Every given roll, 80% chance to win, 20% chance to lose when you're betting across. You're going to win more often than you lose, but you will lose more money when you do lose, right? The Iron Cross, 30 ways to win, 6 ways to lose is an 83% chance to win on every roll of the dice. That's a huge advantage. It's a huge, think about that. That advantage is enormous. The probability advantage of that is enormous. Now, if you're a dice influencer and you have proven skill, let's say you're at a 7.2 SRR, and all I did there was your inside went to 18-5. You're going to see 5 7s out of 36 instead of 6, right? You decreased it, right? The inside better ups their advantage from 75% to 78%. The across better goes from 80 to 83. The Iron Cross goes from 83 to 86%. So you increase by 2.5 to 3.5% your probability on a given roll to win. That is an advantage, right? If you're a trending advantage player, this is where I don't lock in with you, knowing what's coming due or expected, right? I don't know that I can run math on that because there's no way to run math on a myth, right? It's just not possible to know what's coming in a random game. It just isn't. Sometimes variants happen, but you can't predict it, I don't think. So that one, I don't really know that I buy into that. But from the thrower's perspective, lowering your SRR or hiring your SRR rather, does increase the probability of a win on a given roll, which is itself an advantage. But what advantage is it? And here's like some questions that I got. And I know that Jeff and Ed and Gargoyle are going to talk tomorrow night on their show. These are questions really for them. I want you to answer them yourselves. Put it in your comments here, in the chat, in the comments in Discord. But I'm hoping that Jeff and Ed hear this. And I want to get their answers to these questions because I think it helps us frame this discussion in a more, I don't want to say honest way, but in a more forthcoming way. What advantage does that higher SRR really get you? Okay. And if you go back a screen, you can see the percentages. It gives you a better percentage of winning against the 7. That's what I think it is, right? But do the guys that are good at throwing dice see that differently than just I have a higher chance of hitting a number? Do they see that as my roll is likelier to go longer? Do they see that as I'm going to be in a pocket? I'm going to be able to define the pocket that I'm in and stay there for an extra roll or two? Do they see that advantage as being reliable and repeatable? Okay. If you have an advantage, what is it? What is that? How do you define that advantage when you're a thrower and you're practicing for? What are you practicing for? Is it just to get the length, or is it to get a pocket? And the reason why I ask this question is this: is it better to bet on what you think you will throw versus what you're sure you're not going to throw? And what I mean by that is this: betting one number, betting just the 5, or like I think some people go out there and say, well, I get my dice, I'm going to go 6 and 8. Okay, I'm a dice influencer. I practice hours a day, hundreds of hours a week, and I'm going to go out there with just the 6 and the 8. My question to that is why? And they might say, I'm not sure where I'm at yet. I'm not dialed in. I got to see what my toss is going to do. It's kind of a feeler bet. 6 and 8 is a feeler bet. to get in there and see what it's going to be. My retort would be, if you are advantaged and you have a throw that you can rely on, you should know, I'm going to bet the 9 and the 6 because that's what I throw, right? If that's the advantage, bet the ones you throw most often versus just 2 that are kind of feeling it out. Or is it better to just go across? Bet them all, take a win or 2 while you're figuring it out, because the advantage that you gain might be not throwing a given number. The advantage that you have as a tosser might just be avoiding the 7. I would put it out there. I don't think that you name the person that wrote a book or has a channel or whatever, can tell you what they're going to throw. Nobody knows what they're going to throw. And to me, going back to the advantage definition way back, the advantage is knowing what you're going to throw. I would say the advantage really for these guys, I wish it was for myself, is knowing what I'm not going to throw, which is a 7. I don't know what's going to come, but I know it's not going to be a 7. Let me bet them all and see what happens and get out of there quick. That might be a bigger advantage to me than trying to target shoot and pinpoint numbers. I know there's a lot of debate on that, right? Betting what's coming, what you expect versus betting it all, praying for something to happen and getting out of there. Monetarily, you saw it's no different. Betting inside, betting one number, there's no difference, right? You're going to lose the same $5. When the averages come out, you're going to lose the same amount of money either way. As a thrower, though, I have more chances, right? I think I've got more chances to hit any number. And that's what I want to ask the guys, right? How do you bet, and why do you pick and choose what your first bets are? Why not just put them all out there? Get into it, hold the 7 off like you can, and stay alive for an extra throw or 2. That to me would be the advantage play, not picking a number to start with. But again, they've been doing this a lot longer than I have, right? I've been betting for as long as everybody else has, but I've not been throwing like they have. That's my question for the quote unquote advantage players. What is it that you see your advantage as? Because if you can't pick your number, what is your advantage? If you can't cherry pick, what is the advantage? The advantage is length. I think that's the advantage that we're talking about there, is length. And that's my question. I'd like to know that theory. How do you describe your advantage to somebody, not just me, but anybody? How do you describe the advantage? And if you have an advantage, why aren't you there like all the time? Like if you have, like this morning's a good example. I went out to my garage this morning and I picked up my dice and I threw, I think 8 or 9, right? Set a point, 9 numbers, 7 out, made paycheck. If I could do that every single day, if it was, to my earlier point, if it was repeatable, reliable, that's all I would ever do, is go throw seven non-sevens every day and be out of Dodge, right? But even with an advantage throw, you're still going to have the 7, which tells me you don't know what's going to come. You know that over time you're throwing less 7s, but you don't know what's going to happen on that release. That to me means there is no advantage, I guess. I don't know. That's why I have thoughts on it, but my thoughts aren't grounded in any kind of fact. You know what I'm saying? It feels like that's not a strong position, right? If a 7 is likely when I throw, even with an advantage throw isn't an advantage. I don't know. Let the guys talk about it tonight or tomorrow. I wanted to put that out there. Alfredo's got a show tonight too with a guest. He's also a controlled shooter. I love to get the guys who practice this and live it as tossers, their opinions on what it means to have an advantage. Is the advantage I can throw a number? Is the advantage I'm just going to hold it off? And if I'm going to just be able to hold it off, I would ask you back, why aren't you just betting them all? Bet them all, hold it off for an extra throw, and get the hell out. Seems like that's the way to bet the advantage. Once you do that, then you can come back out there with profit and start target practicing, right? I've also said, if you're a controlled shooter that's sniping numbers, you should be betting the come. If that's really if your advantage really is you're dialed in and you're repeating your numbers like you should be, that's what Cage says, right? Cage says you got to be able to snipe. If that's the case, you should be a come better, right? Get in the come, set your number, max those odds out, hit that son of a gun again. That's an advantage, using your toss to your advantage versus just spraying and praying and hoping you can hold the 7 off for a couple more. I just wanted to get it out there. And like I said, use today as a way to ask the questions that I can't ask live in the chat because I have to work and I can't watch that show live. And of course, I can't be a guest on it. So I would like to get these questions out there, let hopefully Jeff pass them along and see how the advantaged shooters, the good shooters, answer the question of what is an advantage and how do you play into your advantage and how do you see that? One number, two numbers versus all. What's the reasoning behind that? That's what I want to get to. So there it is. There it is. That's my questions today. That's my questions. I'm going to move on to your questions here. I've got about 4 minutes left, not even 4 minutes before I have to leave. So any questions from you all? JR says, where has any dice better ever demonstrated? I don't know. Advantage play requires you have the best, right? I don't know. I mean, that's why I'm asking the question. If the advantage is my sevens come, 10% of the time less often than somebody else, that's my advantage. The way you bet that advantage, I think, is go across and take the extra hit. That's playing into it versus I can hit a 6. I can hit a 5. Right? I don't think anybody can say that. I don't know that anybody who's thrown the dice with whatever toss they have can tell you what's coming on the next throw. And because they can't, there is not an advantage. If you can't tell me what's coming, there is no advantage. It's like card counting. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can tell you there's a higher likelihood of a face card coming. A shooter could say there's a higher likelihood of an inside number coming. That's about where the advantage stops, right? Versus the 7. So that's I think that's what is going to get said. But I want to get them to hope I can get from them like a more deeper answer, right? Then a lot of these conversations we have just go by so quick, you know what I mean? And we don't get to dive into it. So hopefully they'll dive into it. Smart players bet what's rolling, right? Sure, bet what's rolling. I get that. But again, if you're a DI, you're making what's rolling roll. Is that an advantage, or is that the actual advantage that they're saying? That's what I want to get into. Are you making the numbers roll that you're betting on? If you're not, right? If you're got the dice in your hand and you're saying, well, I don't know what's going to happen here. It's probably not going to be a 7 because I'm pretty good, but I don't know what it's going to be. Then where does your money go? Where do you put your money in that situation? Because that's the question I can't get to. I know I sure as hell can't do it. I'm not a good enough thrower to say where I'm going to be. I don't know that anybody is. Right? I don't even know if that's what they're trying for. I don't even know if that's their goal, to throw a certain number. So that's what I want to ask. That's why again, wide open mind here. Let me put the questions out there that people are afraid to ask or haven't asked in a clear way. And I don't want to be accusatory. I don't want to be like, yeah, if you had an advantage, you'd be at the casino all the time. I don't want to be like that. I want to know, how do you see the advantage? How do you bet the advantage? And why do you bet the way you do when you don't really know what's coming? Other than it's probably not going to be a 7. If that's the best you can say, I want to get betting explanations on that, because I think that's an interesting thing. Knowing that the expected loss is really the same, explain the bets. That's what I want to get them to. So hopefully they have a chance to do that. So let's see. The real advantage is you bet. Yeah, I think to me, bankroll management has always been an advantage. I do it every day. I manage my bankroll like a maniac. That's an advantage to me over the casino, because I'm not going to play into the game. I'm not going to play into it. My advantage is that I'm scaredy cat. I'm getting the hell out with my money. I think that's okay. Ken says the best advantage, not to go. Well, there you go. That's where you keep all your money, for sure. I hear you guys. All right, I got to get out. Dark says that they think they're making it happen. They don't know what's coming. And again, this is where I come to, right? I know that people have said, I throw 7s like everybody else. I'm like, well, if you're advantaged, like, here's the real question. And maybe this, before I get out here, maybe this puts it all in a nice little bow for us, okay? You don't know what's going to happen, right? If your SRR is 10% better than normal, and again, you have to look at the Bone Tracker stats. And Ed's got a great set of stats he can show us. And maybe he can explain it with Bone Tracker better than I'm going to do here. How do I phrase this correctly? You don't know what's going to happen on that next throw of the dice. other than it's not going to be the 7, but do you know what's I'm trying to word this the right way. If you don't know what's going to happen, how is it an advantage is what you're asking. And I think the advantage is the pocket that you can place yourself into. But again, not knowing what's going to happen on that next throw, where's your likelihood going to be? I think where the guys use Bone Tracker to kind of tell them that. My likelihood is to be more often in this, or this because of this toss. That's probably what the answer is going to be. And I want Ed to show us how he reads that. And not just Ed. I'm picking on Ed because I know he's shown Bone Tracker before, but other guys too. Show us how you read that and what does that mean? Because me, if I don't know that a 5's coming or a 9's coming, I might as well bet everything. Like, there's no advantage to betting a number that I think is going to come. Like, you know what I mean? You don't know that the 5 or 9's coming. Why hammer them so hard when you're just as likely to throw anything on the inside? Like, spreading your presses around versus pressing one number. There's a whole discussion we had there about that. Even on the controlled shooter. The controlled shooter says, I'm going to throw an inside number most likely. Should I spread my presses around all the numbers or press just one number that came out? I mean, you could fight both sides of that argument. That could be, an interesting discussion. Anyway, that's it. I got to go to work. There's more. I have questions. If I can join them, I will try and join them tomorrow and ask stuff in chat, but I think I'm going to have to work. So, yeah, I know they say they're going to roll, bet what's rolling regardless. I get that. But again, you don't know what you're going to roll ahead of time, right? Does that make sense? Like, you don't know what's going to happen ahead. So how can you bet that? I guess there's like the cart before the horse kind of thing. Mid-Atlantic Craps. Yeah, I will email you the questions, Jeff. I'll email them to you because I want to get their real thoughts on this stuff. And again, I don't mean this comes off as kind of preachy when I do these kind of things, but I'm trying to be open-minded about, like, I just want to understand how their brains work and how they're witnessing what they see and what they plan. And again, advantage is a big word to be throwing around there. If you had an actual advantage, you wouldn't have a day job. That's how I look at it. If I had an actual advantage, I wouldn't have a day job. If I could throw a 7 every day, I'd be at the casino all the time. I'd bet across for $3,200, throw 7 times and get the hell out of there, right? But you can't do that. And that's where this comes down to for me. All right, let's get out of here. I got to go to work. I'm 3 minutes from class starting. Went long today. It's Buckeye's fault because the first roll went too long and I got all jacked up. So that's it, folks. I'm out of here. I'll see you tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Daily Paycheck and Coffee and Craps. Tomorrow we have Lori from Craps for the Cure, or from Vets Moving Forward, with us live in studio. So see y'all tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Bye, y'all.